You see, a lot of discussion has been done on building collapse, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the building itself, what is responsible for this collapse. If you look at a building, you will first of all give consideration to the structure of the building. We're talking about the structural element of the building. You look at the substructure, that is what we call the foundation. You look at the imposed structure, that is the superstructure. You know, when you look at the combination of these two, then you come up with the structure of the building. If you have an issue with any of them, of course, the building will not stay. Look at this structure in question. What are the two most important elements of them? One, the concrete. Two, reinforcement. Those are the two major components of structures. If the reinforcement is substandard, then of course you are writing a letter to failure. If the concrete is not well processed, then you have problem with the building. Why will this not be right when you have the engineers?
Yeah, but does that go to buttress the fact that you have a lot of quacks in that sector? I mean, that really don't understand what you're talking about, that, oh, you just have to have a good foundation, you just have to have a good mixture of some of these things.
You see, the very first problem that the construction has is the invasion of that industry by non-professionals. Nigeria is a nation where everybody feels he can do everything. The average man on the street feels that he can do the job of coaching Nigerian team than Stephen Keshi. In the same vein, doctors, lawyers, accountants, everybody feels they can put up a structure. But again, it goes beyond this. When you analyze concrete alone, what does an average man understand by the effect of water in concrete? What type of water should I use to mix concrete? What does he know about that? What effect will a salty water has on my reinforcement? What does he know about that? Water to cement ratio, to give you paste and, you know, water itself, what does he know about this ratio? How does it affect the strength of the concrete in question? He doesn't know. When it comes to the mixing ratio, we have different mixing ratios. You can have 1 to 1.5 to 2, 1 to 2 to 3, 1 to 2 to 4, 1 to 3 to 6, like that. These are used for different purposes. Tell me, if an accountant is handling a construction, which does he select for a purpose? That's one. Two, if a doctor feels that he can put together the artisans, the carpenter, the bricklayer, the caster, to do all this job, the question goes again, all those people you have put together, what experience have they of the science behind all these things? How do they select the granite for a particular purpose? When you take granite, which is a major element of concrete, you can have it in different sizes. You can have quarter, you can have half inch, you can have 3/4, and they are for different purposes. This is where you need an engineer to be at the driver's seat of construction. No negotiation about that. Because he has, you know, all the rudiments. I have to mix A plus B plus C to give me D. And this is the strength I'm going to get from it.
All right, talking about the professionals in this sector, what's their capacity like of the professionals in this sector?
Look, we have good engineers in Nigeria. I don't want you to doubt that. All we need to do as a people is to develop them. Because, look at their line of training. If you go through a university, you won't be recognized as being an engineer until you have gone on the field for 4 years. under a recognized engineer who will do what? Will sign that, yes, he has trained you and you are qualified to be one. He has surely gone through about 9 years of training before he becomes an engineer. At that point, he's been armed with the experience to do his job. But where you have the money bags, controlling things, of course, there is little to which you can do. If you are comfortable enough to say, if you don't allow me to do my job, I'm going to leave your work. Yeah, because you are comfortable to do that. Not everybody is comfortable to that extent. That is a factor. So that invasion, either at the upper level by non-professionals or by the same non-professionals using quack to do all these things, are the major reasons why all these buildings are coming down. And you see, unless something is done about it, they'll keep coming down. No doubt about it.
All right, just hold your thoughts there. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue with the program. To stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Business Morning on Channels Television, and Engineer me Aminu is still standing by. Thank you very much for sticking on. Well, you were talking about the non-professionals in the sector. Now you have issues or areas where you have buildings clustered together. Is it also the problem of quacks in terms of the planning?
Well, you see, that is more of planning, the way a city is planned. If we make reference to London, for an instance, you see that building extend from one apartment to the other, and it goes on and on and on like that. You know, it could go through a very long stretch. That's one. If you equally visit a new city, Dubai, you're going to see things like that. Of course, that does not mean that that is what we should do here, taking into consideration our climatic condition. Yeah. What are those things that you are looking for when you are planning this building? You want to be sure that there is an enough aeration of a building when it is being constructed. Of course, every architect I have seen that I have known, they try as much as possible to make sure that whatever they are bringing out conforms with this. Yeah, I agree. But again, when you look at somewhere like Lagos Island, you have a lot of building clustering together. Lagos Island is much more hairy than here. So they won't have problem of stuffiness. They don't have that. If their building are close, not too close, you know, close enough for a proper aeration of their building, they're fine. Once it's not uncomfortable for the inhabitants of the building, you're fine.
Well, this problem is not just for the buildings, for those, building houses, or we also have the issues of the roads. You find out that a contract is given out for a particular